Hello everyone, Reza here. This video is all about code apps and SharePoint lists. I will showcase how to add SharePoint list as a data source. How much data does it return? Can it get data from a large list? Can we apply filters and sorting functions? That too server side? Can we have pagination of data? Can we build people picker experiences? And so many other questions that I hope this video will answer. So let's check this video out in action. Let's build code apps on SharePoint list as a data source. My list is an extremely large SharePoint list. In this scenario, we are talking about almost 10,000 rows of data. In make.powerapps.com, in my environment, first up, make sure you have your connection set up for SharePoint. You simply head over to New Connection, pick SharePoint, and connect directly to the SharePoint Online Cloud Service. I will be using the SharePoint connection, but apart from that, I will also be using the Office 365 users connection. This to get the user profile image and to also build that people picker-like experience in my code app. Now let's go ahead and build our code app in Visual Studio Code. I'll launch a new terminal and use npx dgit from the Microsoft official GitHub repository for code apps, the template that's made available for us. This will help to scaffold our code apps project. I'll call this my work tracker SharePoint list. Done. Next, I'll change the directory to the folder that just got created and code space dot enter. This will now open another Visual Studio Code instance for that specific folder. And this is the scaffolded project from the code apps template. Now in here, I'll launch the new terminal, npm install. This will install all the Node Package Manager modules. All of these steps are in the documentation. Now let's go ahead and initialize our project, npx powerapps init. This will ask me for my environment ID. If I head over to session details in Power Apps, here is the environment ID that I will go ahead and copy. I'll paste it right here, hit enter. Now what's the name of my code app? I'll call it my work tracker app. This now creates the power.config.json file that includes the configuration details for this code app. Now to connect to SharePoint, we have the command npx powerapps add data source. Now it's asking for the API ID. The API ID for the SharePoint connector is shared_SharePoint online. If I click on the SharePoint connection, right here is that API ID for SharePoint, which is shared_SharePoint online. I'll paste that right here. I could use a solution, a connection reference. In this context, I have not. It's purely a connection, so I'll say no. Please provide the connection ID. Right here in the URL itself, I have the connection ID. I will go ahead and copy this connection ID. Paste it right here. Hit enter. Now please provide the resource name. The resource name is the name of your SharePoint list. Go to your SharePoint list. In the URL, right after lists, you will have the name of your SharePoint list. There are spaces in the name of my SharePoint list, so that's the reason why the URL has that %20 notation. Make sure you copy what's there in the URL and paste that exact value in the resource name. Now it says, please provide the dataset. The dataset is the URL of your SharePoint site. In my case, my SharePoint site URL is as follows. Once again, I'll copy this from the URL and paste it right here. Hit enter. Done. My SharePoint list as the data source has been added successfully. You can see the connection to my SharePoint site, my SharePoint list name, all of that information in the power.config.json file. In the source folder under generated, models and services, my list model is right here, my work progress tracker list. It has different columns. Priority, progress, these are choice columns. Assigned to is a person column, and so forth. That entire list schema model is available for me. This automatically generated for us thanks to the powerapps SDK. Same thing for the service. What functions can I call? I can create records in the list. I can update records, delete records, get a specific item by ID, or get all items. And here I can pass parameters, and these are the different options that are available. I can fire select queries, filter queries, order by. These are OData queries. And observe max page size. Please note, the connector for SharePoint returns only 100 items to begin with. You will have to paginate through the records to get more. So for anyone who's thinking about Canvas Power Apps and the delegation limits for SharePoint, do those delegation limits apply for code apps? The ballgame is very different here in code apps. We are directly utilizing the power of the APIs of SharePoint. So of course, we are bounded by what that API limits are. Now let's test these out and let's create a user interface. Now, if you're a pro developer, this is React code. You can go to the app.typescript file, start framing your code. We also have the ability to use coding agents in Visual Studio Code. That in the form of GitHub Copilot or Claude Code. In my case, I'll be using Claude Code. Now, if we follow the documentation, for SharePoint operations, there is a nice how-to guide that has been put out. It talks about supported scenarios, how you should be using the generated services and models, how you can read records, create records, including how to deal with special types of columns like choice and lookup and person columns. Now, this is important information for us, but in this scenario, I'm working with a coding agent like Claude Code. How about I give that information to Claude? The SharePoint list is already connected as a data source. Read the rules from this URL. So basically, I'm asking my coding agent to understand, based on the official documentation, what's supported and what's not with SharePoint as a data source. So you can see how it's understanding the different operations that it can perform and the manner in which it should be calling the service for the different types of columns. Next step, I'll ask it to create a modern looking app based on my work tracker list. And I wanted to render the list in a table-like format with the following columns. So I've asked Claude to go ahead and start writing the React code for me. So it's starting to write the code. While it does that, npm run dev to run this app locally. I'll fire that URL in my browser, and this is the current state of the app. As Claude makes the updates, I will see the changes live. I'm running the browser experience and VS Code side by side. And there we go. You can see the updates coming in live. It's starting to load the data from my SharePoint list. Now observe, it's loaded only the first 100 rows of data. Because as I mentioned, that's the default behavior of the connector. However, my list has large data. So let's ask it to do that. I'm only seeing 100 rows returned. Add pagination. I want data to be loaded in batches of 100 as the user paginates through the items. Why should we not load all the data at once? Well, because even if you have all the data loaded, the user anyways has to either scroll or paginate through the records to load the information. Why not batch load the data in an optimized manner as and when the user needs it? So that's exactly what I have asked the agent to do at this point of time. So it's starting to make the updates. If I explore the running version of the app, right at the bottom, I now have pagination. Let me hit next so it can load the next set of data and so forth. Optimize loading, better performance. Now, of course, you don't want a user to scan through thousands of rows of data. You would like to provide options for the user to filter and sort to get to the relevant data quickly. For that, I will say add sorting and filter options for the following grid columns. All of these actions must be performed server-side. So I wanted to use the getItems method in the service file to go and filter the data. This is important because I do not want it to filter based on the data that it has loaded in the app. Server-side meaning SharePoint will do the work of filtering the data and then return the result back to my app. Same thing I'm calling out for sorting as well. The work begins to add filtering and sorting. Now, while it does that, let's add another data source. This one called shared_office 365 users. Not a connection reference, it's a connection. I need to give the connection ID. Here is my connection for Office 365 users, and here is the connection ID that I will copy and paste right here. Done. Now, my power.config.json file also includes a reference to Office 365 users. There is a model generated for it, and there is a service file as well, which includes the different functions that we can take advantage of from the Office 365 users connector. Functions like get my profile photo, and so much more. The get my profile photo is what I would like to use to show the actual profile image of the user in my application. And for that, another prompt I would give to my coding agent, which is get user profile photo from the Office 365 users connector. As the updates are being made, npm run dev to run the dev server. The updates are still trickling in, so the CSS updates are yet to fall in. And you can see how I'm starting to get filtering and sorting options right here. Now observe, my list is a large list. I have added the ID column to show you how it is actually performing the actions of sorting and filtering server side. It's loading 100 rows sorted by the ID in ascending order. If I change it, descending order, check the ID number. The sorting is happening server side. So my entire data set is actually being respected server side, and it is returning the data that I need based on the sorting operation that I'm performing. Same combination works with filtering. I'm searching for text in the title column. Search in this case is performing a starts with query. I can clear my sort and filters, show me all the items that are in progress. This is giving me the first 100 rows that are in progress. If I scroll down and hit next, it will load the next batch and so forth. Show me all the items that are blocked and that are high priority. The combination of filters are also working. Observe the images coming from the Office 365 Users Connector. Let's give it one more prompt. Allow the user to create, read, update, delete records. I want a nice slide over panel that flies in from the right hand side. Provide a new work item button option and assign to, that's a person column. Load the users from the Office 365 Users Connector. The coding agent starts making the updates. This is exactly how I was able to build this application. Create a new work item. Here is that people picker experience listing the users from Entra via the Office 365 Users Connector. Create the item. Done. Let's sort by ID in descending. That should have my latest item that I just created. And all of this is getting stored in my SharePoint list. Date columns, person column, multi-select choice columns, and more. Code Apps uses React. The world is open in terms of what you would like to build and design. Bring in different types of JavaScript libraries, build different types of experiences for your end users. Once you're ready with your app, npm run build npx powerapps push. Npm run build to build the project, npx powerapps push to push the app to our powerapps environment. If I head now over to apps, here is the app that I just pushed in this environment. It's that same code app that I can now play as a Power App. Here are the two connections. That same experience working with a large SharePoint list. And to share this app, simply hit share and share it with other users in your organization. Please note, you will need to make sure the user has the needed permissions in the SharePoint list in order to perform the different actions like reading, creating, updating, deleting. If you enjoyed this video, then do like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you so much for watching.